So step right in the cabin of the Mazda CX5 and I can tell you the design is based on the Kodo philosophy that Mazda has employed throughout its design. Actually, for the last 6-7 years, Mazda has been employing the Kodo philosophy, which actually means soul. It's well designed, well laid out, nothing too fancy. It's got that minimalistic design, so you have less buttons and knobs to confuse you while driving. And of course, you can see the quality of the dash. You do have stitched leather on the dash and of course wood trim, and right below it you do have some stainless steel accents that enhances the premium quality of this particular car. And as you can see on the instrument binnacle, you do have 3 dials. You have one for the tachometer, the other one for the speedometer, and of course the digital multi-information display. That said, the center console actually houses this 7-inch multi-information display, which is color. It's called the MZD Connect and actually houses navigation that works in Kenya. You do have an audio system. Actually, it's a Bose sound system. 10 speakers, 800 watts. That sounds like this. I'm telling you, the sound on this thing is just amazing. If you love the clarity, the crispness of the sound, then Bose system comes as standard in this top spec signature Mazda CX5. That said, of course, you do have other connectivity options. You do have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which are now part and parcel of every car that's coming out in the industry. You have the dual zone climate control. So the goodness about this is that you're able to control the different aspects of temperature within the cabin. So as a driver, if I love cool 21 degrees and the passenger is feeling a bit cold and wants heat, they can actually control the different aspects of the temperature without affecting or interfering with each other. The vents actually at the back as well, you can actually control some of the air that's going into the passenger, so everybody remains cool, calm and collected. And again, you do have seat coolers. This one doesn't have seat warmers, it has seat coolers, so it gets very hot like it's gonna get in December. Then you can actually enjoy the CX5 in Mombasa, driving down with your vest, not sweating because the leather seats are perforated. For added safety, you do have heads-up display that gives you all the information that's on the instrument binnacle is displayed here on the windscreen. The seats actually are very supportive. As you can see, big boy with the big kitambi is actually comfortable. The distance here between me and the steering wheel is quite big, and actually it does have tilt and telescopic steering, so you can actually adjust the steering based on your taste and preference if you're tall enough or short enough. And actually the seats are actually powered with about 14-way power seats. You can actually tilt and retract the seats based on your height, and of course you do have memory setting for 3 other passengers or drivers who are going to drive this particular car. We're going to move to the back and see what Mr. Mwirigi has to say about the comfort of the Mazda CX5 at the back.
So you don't have to be driving the CX5 to enjoy it. Right here at the back, it's an amazing place to be. Leather seats, they're not cooled like the way they are in the front, but there's a lot of space. Trevor is 6 foot flat, and this seat is set for Trevor's height. And over here, there's a lot of space for my leg room. Very easy for me to put my feet under here. Actually very comfortable for me to sit here. At the back, we also have AC. And one of the most interesting things I've seen so far, there's actually 2 USB ports at the back here, and cup holders also for the people at the back, making this a very interesting place to sit and be driven when in a Mazda CX5. Let's go check out the boot and see what it has in extra productivity. Coming to the rear of the CX5, first thing I have to talk about is the power tailgate. Fantastic feature of lots of German cars have, but it has come to the Japanese as well. Takes a bit of a while to open, but it is worth it because in here you have an amazing boot. Very wide, very open. The wheel arches don't intrude into the boot. Of course, you have a 12-volt socket, tie-down points, and very interestingly, a space saver, spare tire, and a subwoofer for that Bose system that Trevor loves so much. So let's check out how this thing feels on the road.
So guys, you've seen how practical this particular car is. Plenty of space, plenty of technology, plenty of features that can make any modern family happy. But the question still remains, if you're the dad and you love performance, does this car live up to the Mazda Zoom expectation, philosophy of power, of oneness? We're going to find out now as we're going to take you through some of the curves on the Kiambu ring. So guys, we've seen how practical this particular car is. There's plenty of cubby holes and spaces, practical, very luxurious, comfortable, and the level of technology is amazing. My question is, as the driver, do you get engagement in this particular car? We're going to find out if this car handles like a proper German. Well, German because Germans are the benchmark of handling. Now up front you do have a 2.5 liter engine, petrol 16 valve with variable valve timing and variable cylinder shutoff that allows this car to accelerate like this. Listen to that. Now that is a sound of 140 kilowatts and 252 newton meters of torque supplied to the four wheels courtesy of a 6-speed automatic, and of course it turned a good fuel consumption figure of roughly about 11 kilometers to the liter, which is good. Remember, Nairobi, too much traffic. This car gives you the best of both worlds. Now in terms of handling, this particular car up front has McPherson struts that are tuned with a long stroke setup to allow maximum undulation of particular suspension to absorb the road imperfection. And at the back you do have multi-link setup. Now something interesting about Mazda, they have actually gone ahead with something called chassis control. They've introduced something called the G vectoring force, which allows you to handle and give this car a certain feel of a sports car. Remember, Mazda are known for the RX-9, the MX-5. All these cars are sporty because of the chassis. Now they've improved it by having this G-force vectoring control that allows you, or allows the gearbox to shift the loads of the torque, especially when you're cornering. It will shift the load to the front courtesy of the central differential. And of course, in terms of braking, and you need stability on the road, then you do have torque vectoring by braking. Now the ABS and ESP system work hand in hand to ensure that the wheel brake force distribution is sent to the outer wheels, that allows this car to be stable under braking, under cornering, and gives that feel. Safety, critical aspect in most cars. This car is a mix of active and passive safety features. Active, ESP, electronic stability control, ABS, brake assist. You have lane departure warning, you do have cross traffic alert. All the names you can ever think of, all the anonyms for this particular safety systems, you can find it in the Mazda CX5. But in case all the hell breaks loose, then you can rely on the strong structure of the passenger cell, which is actually rated at 5-star Euro NCAP safety rating, and of course safety belts, and you have multiple airbags across the cabin to keep you and your family safe from harm. We think I've said too much. What are your thoughts on the handling of this car?
I mean, it really feels really good. It's a four-wheel drive, so these corners you're taking, it's taking it really good. And then also, it's not leaning into the corners the way you do in an SUV. Yes. We are very used to this track. We review a lot of cars on this road, yes, and I'm not feeling any more different than any of the other cars we've been doing here. It feels like a saloon car. It just feels, it has that feeling.
Well, one thing actually I want to compliment Mazda for is the ability to reduce the noise, vibration and harshness within the car.
Yeah.
So a lot of padding within the cabin, within the engine bay, the firewall. So it actually feels like you're driving a passenger car like a Mazda 6, which you know Mazda 6 is also an amazing vehicle that competes with the likes of the Passat and the Subaru Legacy and many other cars within that category. But it shows that manufacturers are now paying keen attention on crossovers and SUVs. Because remember, in the next 5 years, they're going to account for 50% of total vehicle sales. And that's why this particular segment is super competitive. So guys, what do you think about the Mazda CX5? Let us know on your social media handles below as we go and do a value for money analysis courtesy of Cars with Big Boy Trev. You've seen how the CX5 performs on our roads. Comfortable, it's spacious, it's peppy, it handles well, and of course there's tons of technology. Question is, what are the key rivals of this particular car?
Everybody who sells cars in Kenya has a compact SUV nowadays, and so this is competing with almost everyone. It's a very packed segment. So you're looking at the Hyundai Tucson, the Peugeot 3008, the Toyota RAV4, the BMW X3, and very, very many others. So the question remains, Trevor,
yes,
why would you pick this over any of the other rivals?
I think for me, the styling does it for me. The Kodo, fluidic motion, This Japanese way of interpreting design is just different. It's made Mazda become so aggressive. Sadly, that's it, folks. Thank you so much for joining us. But before we go, how much is it?
So the prices for the Mazda CX5 start at 5.9 million shillings. Financing is available from CMC. So again, the pricing is extremely aggressive.
Yes, and competitive. Okay, and it also comes with a 3-year, 100,000-kilometer warranty, which is standard across board. And of course, you can rely on CMC's network across Kenya to maintain your CX5. If you're going to road trip in Kisumu, in Nyeri, in Mombasa, in Nakuru, you can actually get service, parts, and sales of the CX5. Sadly, that's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for joining us on this occasion of Cars Big Boy Trevor. As usual, if you have any questions, comments, or queries, don't hesitate to write to us as seen on our social media handles below. Signing out, live and direct from Limuru. This is Big Boy Trev.
This is Murigi. Drive safe
and be safe.